Right then, welcome back. FA Cup action, magic of the cup. Manchester United against Fulham, FA Cup quarter-final, 90 minutes away from Wembley, and tricky game. It shouldn't be I shouldn't be sitting here telling you Fulham at home in the cup is a tricky game, but it's a tricky game. Without Casemiro, United are dog shit, for want of a better example, but this is a tough game for Manchester United. Fulham are winless in the last 15 matches with United in all competitions. They've got 3 draws, 12 losses in that time, and they've won only 1 of the last 25 away, which is all the way back in October 2003. They lost 3-0 at home to Arsenal in their last game. They lost 3-2 to Brentford before that. Their last win was in the competition. They beat Leeds United 2-0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Currently 9th in the league and having a very, very good season under Marcel Sabitzer. We beat them 2-1 at the Cottage in November. Garnacho winner in the last game prior to the World Cup. Due to play them in the last league game of the season at Old Trafford. So good opportunity to get another win under our belt, progressing to the semi-final of the FA Cup. But I think it's going to be a lot trickier than that. United are running on fumes, it feels like, at the moment. We didn't rotate too heavily against Betis. We did rotate a little bit, though. Hopefully that rotation's had a little bit of a positive impact for a couple of players ahead of this game. Fulham matches up pretty much with a 4-2-3-1 formation. You see them set up as a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1 out of possession when they're looking to try and lock off and deny space, and they've been pretty good at that. Apart from the last couple of games where you've seen them start to become a bit shakier, and that's seen them slide down the league a little bit. They've conceded 6 in their last 2 games. Okay, we conceded 7 in 1, but don't worry about that. All their play goes through Andreas Pereira, which is fascinating as a United fan to see Andreas Pereira performing at this level. All their attacking moves go through him. He's having an absolute standout season for them. And he's actually been very well-rounded with him and playing with a little bit of grit. And it's absolutely key to what Fulham have been doing this season. He's got 6 assists so far. He leads Fulham for that. And with the runners that he's got either side, Willian or Solomon, who on the left's been getting back to full fitness after he had a serious injury. On the right, you've got Cordova Reed or Harry Wilson. And Marco Silva's absolutely transformed a decent forward unit into a very, very strong one, with Mitrovic at the head of that. Mitrovic has been the focal point up top, but he offers plenty of movement. He allows Fulham to attack very fluidly. He can finish, and they transition well when they regain possession. Starting 11, I think, will look a little bit like this. And Starman, even though they go through Andreas Pereira, for me, it's Mitrovic. 120 goals in 255 Premier League games and Championship games. 4 goals in 7 League Cup games. Never scored so far in 11 appearances in the Cup. Any money on that tomorrow? Probably be a good shout. He has had a couple of little knocks recently, which seems to have slowed him down somewhat. But he's played in both of the last 2 games. He is an all-round number 9. I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he plays for an unfashionable side, but he's scored a serious amount of goals, playing at his peak at the moment. Probably time for him to test himself at a big Premier League club, I imagine. Would he be one that United should have signed in January if we had the cash? I think he'd be probably doing a little bit better than Weghorst is, certainly in the goals column, if nothing else. Hello everyone, our sponsor Surfshark has partnered with us to bring you this video. Surfshark is a virtual private network VPN which safeguards your online identity by encrypting all the information exchanged between your device and the internet. This means that your personal data is protected from cybercriminals and large companies. Additionally, Surfshark can change your IP address, giving you the ability to appear as if you're in a different location around the world. Here are some ways that Surfshark can benefit you. Encryption of your online data and protection of your personal information when you use free public Wi-Fi, which is often a prime target for hackers and people trying to do nefarious stuff. Mask your IP address and keeps your city, country, and download history private. Surfshark doesn't track, monitor, or store your online activities either. Changes your virtual location to access content that might not be available in your region, such as BBC iPlayer. Protects your online activities when you stream movies, play games, visit potentially dangerous websites. With Surfshark's Clean Web feature, this blocks ads, malware, and phishing attempts and ensures safe streaming. And the ability to use one account on unlimited devices, including phones and laptops or iPads or anything like that. If you're interested, in using Surfshark. Use the code Howson and you're going to get an exclusive offer of 83% off plus 3 extra months for free. Additionally, Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in giving it a try and helping protect what you do online. Starting 11 for United. This is where it gets tricky. I think Wan-Bissaka's ahead of Dalot at the moment. And that could change, but I think he's ahead of him. It wouldn't shock me to see him go with Dalot because we're going to probably have a hell of a lot of the ball against Fulham. But I think it'll be Wan-Bissaka. And I think it'll be Shaw on the left, and I think it'll be Martinez and Varane in centre half. And then this is the big question. Without Casemiro, what is the midfield that United are going to be able to line up? For me, you go Sabitzer and McTominay. Sabitzer and McTominay give you the football intelligence and the running that you miss without Casemiro. Fred would deliver energy, but that's pretty much all Fred's going to deliver, and I think you're going to want to be better on the ball than McTominay. Come on, man. We had years of looking at Fred and McTominay in midfield. You know exactly what you're going to get. I hope Ten Hag has seen them films. Sabitzer and McTominay gives you a level of intelligence and a level of physical capability. Ahead of them, I go Bruno. But I do what we did in the game the other day where we saw United deploy an actual midfield 3 with a 6 and 2 8s. And I put McTominay as the 6 and Sabitzer, Bruno either side of him, with both of them given responsibility to come back and collect the ball to enable us to play out from defence. On the wings, I think it will be Anthony, despite Palestri's positive match. I think it will be Rashford, and I think it'll be Weghorst. And then I think we've got some options off the bench, but that'll be that. That's my starting 11. Match winner for United, I think it's Bruno Fernandes. He was back to his busy best with a bit of a point to prove. Very lively against Betis. Created 4 chances, which is he's so consistent in the number of chances he creates. You can't really deny what he's all about. Second most chances created in the Premier League this season, not to be sniffed at. At his peak, he is sensational, and I think he can get back to his best big time. He'll be a big player for United. And the way we beat this Fulham team is you get the ball to Fernandes and you get runners off him and then you get him in the mix. Fulham have been shaky at the back lately. They, early in the season, had one of the best defensive records in the league. That started to crumble a little bit for them. Not entirely sure why that is, but they've started to crumble a little bit. They press very well all over the pitch. We might be currently relying on a little bit of individual brilliance, not necessarily because Fulham are a top defensive side, but if they show up, they defend brilliantly in a low block, which is what they've not really done over the last couple of weeks. We have the injuries, we have the tiredness. I think you're looking for someone to just drag you over the line just a little bit, just get us to that international break and let's see where we're at. We might need a Rashford goal similar to Betis where it's a little bit out of nothing from far out just to get us our noses in front in the game. And if we're not at the races, the space will be there. So if they're not at the races, the space will be there for them because when they've not been quite at it this season, they've been quite shit, to be honest. So let's hope it's that Fulham that turns up and not the one that started the Premier League season and absolutely put a lot of teams in the place. But let me know what you think. How do you see this one going? Who do you think is going to be the most important players? All that good stuff. Enjoy the game, and I'll see you afterwards. Later. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.